Bitte sehr, schon wieder streikt die Autoindustrie traumhaft. Die Steuerzahler blechen jedes Jahr Millionen, die kassieren das Geld und fangen an zu streiken. Das nenne ich Sozialismus. Wenn die keinen Bock drauf haben, Autos zu bauen, warum suchen sie sich da nicht einen anderen Job? Warum entwerfen sie nicht Kirchen oder komponieren Violinkonzerte? Das British Leyland-Konzert. Ein Konzert in 4 Sätzen, schön langsam, mit 4-stündigen Teepausen dazwischen. Ich sag Ihnen wieso. Weil die an nichts interessiert sind, außer sich auf den Förderbändern rumzuwälzen und sich mit meinem Geld zu messen. Das Licht darf ich wohl ausmachen, hm? Also dann guten Appetit.
The story of the Austin Allegro is bittersweet indeed. Built by a company in crisis, the Allegro carried the can for all that was wrong with the British car industry in the 1970s. And in fairness, there would be no telling whether your example would give you years of trouble-free motoring or fall apart on the way home from the dealer. Shut up! Stories of reliability and robustness and aggravation and failure seem to abound in equal measure.
My stepdad had an Austin Allegro. He never had a problem with it.
Worst car I've ever owned. It fell apart on day one.
I did a lot of traveling up and down the country. It never broke down.
My first automobile till the drive shaft dropped off.
I've been in several Allegros, never found fault with them.
I had to carry more tools than a recovery truck.
My dad had a bright orange 1300 with a Cordic wheel. It never let him down.
My dad broke down every time it was at a traffic light.
I bought it as a joke, but I soon realized what an excellent little car it actually was.
They blew engine seals like nothing on earth.
Honestly, I survived several assassination attempts in mine.
There's oil all over the drive, and the dealer goes, "Oh yeah, that's a design fault, sir."
The Allegro is nearing 50, and the 2020s may prove to be the last decade in which it's still possible to buy and restore this much loved and much derided, but undeniably quirky and enduring car for reasonable money. Here are 10 reasons why the Austin Allegro was almost Britain's best small car. 1. The biggest seller in 1973 was the Escort Mark I 1100. That's a guess, by the way, but the Allegro 1100 matched the Escort's performance and fuel economy.
Discuss now in pursuit of suspect.
Can you make it a bit faster, Vicar?
What?
Can you get your foot down?
Well, I'm not sure that I can.
Both the Escort and the Allegro were virtually identical in terms of a top speed just below 80, but the Allegro producing an extra 6 horsepower just shy of 50. Well, it did have the mighty A-series under the hood, one of the most iconic engines of the 20th century. 2. The Allegro Saloon had a trunk easily large enough to store a body in. In fact, the massive 455-liter capacity made the Saloon a much more practical solution for your serial murder and weekly shop than a Ford EcoSport. But I digress. Check out that interior space as well.
Nous allons voir combien de personnes tiennent dans cette Austin. Voici la nouvelle Austin Allegro. Une suspension hydragas à toute épreuve. Une finition et un confort tout britannique. Tout ça dans 3 petits mètres 85. nouvelle Austin Allegro, la grande mini.
3. The back window on the Allegro estate is dope, and the unrestricted luggage space just made a huge amount of sense.
You've got 53 cubic feet of load carrying capacity, almost identical to Ford's Escort estate. But the Allegro is front wheel drive, which means that there aren't any rear wheel drive components that can intrude into this low, flat, and very useful luggage carrying area.
No wonder Tony Bastable described the Allegro estate as the best equipped and best value for money in the medium estate car field. Wise words from someone who was certainly the best medium-sized television presenter in his day. 4. The Quartic steering wheel. Even the Series 2 Allegros were conspicuous by their lack of one. It attracted a huge amount of criticism.
Square. Good idea.
But you'll be hard-pressed to find much substance to it. The Series 1 steering wheel says original, experimental, brave new world. The Series 2 says sensible, not going to try anything fancy, mustn't rock the boat. Series 3, I'm a cheap date. 5. The Allegro came as a pimped ride before they were a thing. You could have your Allegro super basic, but it was also sold as a convertible or with leather seats, walnut veneer dash, Rolls-Royce style grille, deep pile carpets, airline style trays in the back seats. Not even a top-of-the-line Ford Granada could offer this level trim at the time, let alone cars in the Allegro's class. A complete slam dunk for Austin. 6. The Allegro Equipe could do 0 to 60 in just 10 seconds, and only 0.8 seconds slower than a Golf GTI MK1. This is because Austin were happy to squeeze a 1750 into the engine bay right from the get-go, give it a sexy twin carburetor, and let the thing go nuts. Official top speed was 100, but trust me, I know someone who did 105 in a clapped out 1500, so I'm pretty sure that's a conservative estimate. Seven. The Allegro had the same door handles as one of the most iconic cars of the 20th century. I hope you're seeing a pattern here. There was some nice automotive DNA in that thing. 8. Coming with front-wheel drive was forward-looking, but the Hydra gas suspension really set the Allegro apart, and only a Citroën could best it in smoothness.
The suspension that we're using on this vehicle is such a big step forward.
9. The Austin Allegro has proven its durability time again in banger and rally racing at home and on the international stage. In 2014, 3 pals took an Allegro estate they bought on eBay for £651 on an 11,000-mile hike to Mongolia, where it crossed the finish line in 118th place. Cricket legend Freddie Flintoff also used an estate to go off-road in the forests of Borneo and win a Top Gear challenge in the process. 10. Actually, we're out of things that make the Allegro special. Just kidding. 10. We think the Allegro's best look is its look. Just as it was a car that managed to be reliable and unreliable at the same time, depending on who you ask, it's also attractive but not really. A bit like a Ford EcoSport. See, the Allegro is all about quirkiness. Admittedly a 70s specialty, but the Allegro truly wears the otherness crown, and in its Series 1 and 2 guys, it really pulled it off. The way those backlights are sculpted, the curves in the tailgate, a geeky, dumpy, but comfortable with it look, anyone who is underestimated has failed to live up to their early promise or simply a non-conformist can relate. If the Allegro had a gender, it would probably be trans or one of those, you know, those 98 other ones. Thanks for watching.
We have a new entry.
Allegro's got room. Lots of room. Room for lonely. Plenty of room for five.
Allegro's
him to talk.